Okay, it's pouring out rain. This is probably a good time to stop. Okay, I got back on the road and all of a sudden it started snowing. Maybe it's just doing this during this pass, or maybe a storm's hitting. This is probably normal for this part of the road. I'm going to go a few miles, and if necessary I'm going to pull over. I was thinking about pulling over right away, but there's nowhere really convenient to pull over here. Oh my God. Oh, God be with me. Okay, well, if it was snowing all the time this pass, there would be snow left on the ground. So hopefully this will come to pass. We shall see. Looks like I'm on the edge of a small cliff here. I don't understand why people have to drive so fast. It's what I see in America. There's something really wrong with people. There's something really wrong with society. The collective shift in consciousness has arrived, and it's not for the more enlightened. And that's in reference to the masses. We're all on our own individual journey in our life. We're all working to have these shifts forward. But the mass way of doing things, behavior, the speed that they're driving, the false sense of confidence because they're driving smaller, compact vehicles. What are they thinking? What has this world come to? I'm hours from Colorado. Well, this is no man's land for real. And the road's not getting slick yet, it's just wet. It's, I wouldn't say it's warm outside, but it's not freezing. So I'm gonna keep going. Okay, we passed through the section of snow, and now we're going through rain. Oh my Lord. What kind of a place is this? Going through a little town in Utah. We're past Prince, and it's starting to dry out a little bit. Got a break from the windy roads, and we're in flat terrain for now. Got open plains. Now this is the turnoff for I-70, and that takes somebody to, takes one to Moa, in the area around Arches National Park. And that's on the way to the Four Corners. It's one of the spots that a lot of people check out. There's other places like Mesa Verde in Arizona. I'm going to save that trip for another time when I'm well rested. Maybe take a road trip from Colorado. For now, I'm just going to keep on my way forward to Grand Junction. Okay, so if you're ever traveling from Utah to Colorado and you're on 70, make sure you get gas at least by the Green River stop. Because if you end up here at Papa Joe's, you're going to find out their gas is $4.99, at least at the moment. Who knows where it is when the costs are normally higher. So there's a little bit of price gouging here, not too far from Arches National Park. So there's major price gouging because it's a major tourist destination. So I put about $25 in there just to definitely got enough gas to make sure I get to Grand Junction, which is about an hour away. That's my next stop. Okay, well, I got taken for a fool. Gas is $2.78 at the Shell station, about 2 miles away. So someone's got a gas station a couple miles away from the Shell, and they got their gas right now at $5 a gallon or something like that. Very trippy. Okay, so I went inside and asked the people at Shell about it, and they just started cracking up. So it sounds like some practical joke or something. And the guy says, well, some people are dumb. And I go, yeah, well, I got on the internet first to see, and I didn't see the Shell listed, and like, we're not listed. So, yeah, it sounds like they're playing games with people. Maybe there's somebody that owns both. I don't know. Just hysterical. And I think I was just driving through snow just a couple hours ago. Now entering Colorado. Now exiting Utah. Look at that, the terrain changed right away. There's like grass and whatnot. We're going to see a lot of interesting rock formations a little bit later in the trip, especially when we're leaving Grand Junction, heading down to Gunnison, going from Gunnison to Alamosa. Okay, so we are in Grand Junction. Okay, and we're in downtown Grand Junction, Colorado. Got a real urban thing going on. The camera's not very good at minimizing the glare effect, so. But we'll do a brief little drive-through and walk through. I walked a little bit through their downtown. It's really high end in terms of their bars, restaurants, clientele. So I'm going to be filming in low light situations. So there's a lot of money here. So I'm seeing a lot of similarities in the people in these cities and the things that entertain them, interest them. Not sure what this is. I'm on the edge of downtown. Grand Junction Club. This is some kind of metal bowl outside the Wells Fargo. This is strange downtown. There's a lot of anger here, I can tell you that much. A lot of superficial stuff going on. It's a vortex, really, of a bunch of madness, to be honest with you. I look forward to driving out of town tomorrow. It's pouring rain. I'm seeking refuge under this tree. I want to remember what it's like being in a city. Hopefully this last major city I'll be in for some time. It's a much prettier city by day. It's a Sunday afternoon. This looks like it's not really their downtown, but it's close to it. They have stuff over here. The core of their downtown's around Main Street that way. But get an idea. But from what I saw, their party scene They got some messed up people in this town. Whether those people are a product of their environment or something else, social engineering, mind control, often it's really just a combination of the factors. Let's just go ahead and drive through this little downtown street. We're on Main.
Cesario Negri was a dancing master from Milan who happened to compose on the side. A miniature by him, played by harpist Andrew Lawrence King, around the on the subject of dance music, prepare for us by Jean-Pierre Ramon from his stage work Castor and Pollux, performed here by the orchestra of the 18th century.
Alright, it's about time to hit the road again. I heard there's snow coming in through Gunnison. Although there's sunshine here. But I only speak in terms of the weather. Grand Junction, Colorado is a strange, strange place. With its obsession on materialism like many other cities, surrounded by big box stores. And even though they're surrounded by nature, they are clearly all in a trance. There may be some positive things to the people here. There certainly is to the environment and this part of the planet that we choose to call Earth. But on a microscopic level, the consensus reality, the vox populi, mass consciousness, ouch. Ouch. When you separate yourself from that madness and then re-enter it, ouch. It hurts. But I have become a lot more talented at dealing with such global insanity. And I have come to terms with the reality. The majority of people everywhere, both rural and urban, are linked in to a collective hive mind. I am on my journey not to find peace through social acceptance in a particular part of America, as many people desire. They desire to be in a place where they're accepted and where people appreciate their ideas and treat them with respect. I, on the other hand, am on a very different adventure, a very different quest, to find my own space, to escape the dependency trap for something to come from others, which many people are in, that are working at these jobs, that are dependent on a certain amount of money every month to make their rent. They're dependent. They're slaves without even realizing that they're slaves. Falsely, hypnotically believing that they are free and mentally fit, mentally stable. I've learned a lot in my travels, and why a lot of people prefer comfort, prefer to live in the same place, prefer the illusion of stability, I create my own path. I create my own vision quest. I make sure that I am the one in the driver's seat of my own destiny and my own journey. And the journey, folks, at this point, continues on. I'm liking this road on Highway 50 that's leaving town a little more than the main part of town of Gunnison, Grand Junction, Colorado. I'm not a big fan of Gunnison, but you know, it's not a bad town. You know, it's tough when you don't know anybody wherever you are. You know, unless you're going to, you know, the Four Corners or some park and you plan to do a lot of meditation and deep reflection. It can be difficult being a loner in the city, you know, and a lot of people can identify with that. Even people that don't necessarily think the things that I think. Just in general, it's difficult being an outsider, no matter what you think. And a lot of people feel like the outsider in certain towns, if they're not a Mormon, if they're not a Christian, if they're not a Muslim in certain parts of the world. You know, it's just kind of how things are. So this whole thing's been an adventure, and it's a challenge. And I'm sharing that journey with you, publicly. This journey towards my own independence that I have sought to achieve through going to a remote part of the planet, a remote part of the country, to a place where very few people would ever consider going because of lack of water and the cold during the winter. And because I have adjusted to both of those and other things that people would consider an inconvenience, a lack of cell phone coverage, I see that as a benefit. Traveler with a backpack. And I saw somebody a little bit earlier with a cane in a state of deep reflection with an Air Force jacket, older man with a long beard. Yeah, anyone that's served this system in any way, shape, or form should really reflect on what's happening to America today. Future will be happening over the skies of America. It's coming, Neo. And everything you thought was true about this matrix, about this world, about your little lives, nearly all of it has been false. I am free, and yet I have asked for the love from slaves? When faced with our own madness, we must address it by any means necessary. Alright, I'm passing through another little small town in Colorado. I'm not sure the name of it, but it's on the way to Gunnison. So you can see the difference in small towns that America. Some of them have like more of their own stuff, regardless of what the people are like. When you look at the businesses, some of them have their own stuff for sale. They don't have a Walmart smack in the middle of town. Some do, and they have a lot of the big box stores like hanging out like a gang together, and they leave their, you know, historic town intact, part of town. Not all towns do. Some let the corporations just have their way with it. But typically they reserve their downtown for their historic stuff, And then when you start venturing outside of that area, then you start seeing all the mainstream fast food joints, all the mainstream supermarkets. Okay, these are some intense mountain passes. A lot of it I'm not filming because I'm totally focused on the road, but when I get to these higher elevations, my motorhome has a difficult time going above 25 to 30 miles an hour. The alternator is supposedly new. I'll get it looked at, but I notice it's when I get out of that higher elevation area that things go away. Oh, and by the way, my Mac battery failed. It already needs to be replaced. But yeah, the whole thing just completely went down right around that same time period that my alternator wasn't doing very well. So maybe there's something about certain areas having a certain energy that's not good for electronics and vehicles. I don't know. Maybe it's just a phenomenon, maybe just a coincidence. This is what it was like. I just want to remember this memory. Struggling to go 30 miles an hour up a hill. You know, with cars all around me, passing me. Right now I'm holding it at 30, and I've seen it drop as low as 25. And then I pulled over and ran the car a little bit, let it charge up. I assume the alternator isn't functioning as it should, but I'm seeing this behavior mostly in the higher altitudes. I'm not seeing in the lower altitudes. Maybe it's just coincidence that I'm in the higher altitudes now. But now I'm doing 25. Okay, it's holding 30. It's holding 30 miles an hour. It's not going lower. Look at these clouds. Like I'm driving through the clouds. I'm driving through the mountains right now. So as most of you know, there's less oxygen up here. It must have an impact on this model vehicle. Not as much on the newer vehicles, these hybrid ones that are enjoying going by me, driving faster than they should. But the speed limit is 45 miles per hour, by the way. Okay, it is an elevation thing. I can rest because the people traveling in front of me that passed me, well, they passed me, but they're not going a whole lot faster. I mean, I wasn't expecting my motorhome to have to climb Mount Everest, or not Mount Everest, but we're in Colorado. Oh my gosh! Okay, well look at that. We're home 30 miles an hour, so my alternator is not failing. This is an elevation thing. Okay, going about 25 miles an hour. Starting to see more snow. It's foggier. There's a body of water down there. Going down in elevation again. I never thought of that until now, that it's not just humans that can be really impacted by higher elevations. Obviously cars and electronics can too. But in particular electronics in certain areas where there's just for whatever reason, they can be prone to having issues. This is some really beautiful country. And again, everybody wanted to pass me. And the speed limit right here is 35 miles an hour, which I'm going. Yeah. The rock formations in this area are just amazing. They are totally amazing. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. One thing that I've been doing every so many miles is pulling over and letting cars pass. If they're tailgating, or if there's 3, 4, 5, or a string of them, I let them pass. think this is kind of exciting to see. This is called Lake Fork. I found a great place to stop. And I'm going to hang out here for a few minutes. Hopefully the rain will pass. I will be able to make it to Gunnison. It's only 26 miles away. I'll tell you, you know, there's been some terrifying moments on this trip, but what's really invigorating is the rush I get. Going up in elevation and down in elevation, dropping down. The fear, oh my God, is something wrong with my alternator? Oh no, it's just the elevation. Take a deep breath. Everything will be okay. And I'd even have to use my AAA membership that I just got before this trip. About $147 a year for RV roadside assistance. This is Blue Mesa Lake. Definitely worlds away from Portland, Oregon, where in the news, martial arts studio owner kills himself in jail. He was accused of sodomizing a child, and he committed suicide in Deschutes County Jail, so Central Oregon. But he was from Portland, and his studio was on 92nd, pretty close to that Foster area. Coined the Demon Portal by yours truly. Just think, he could have been out here seeking his freedom, getting away all that nastiness in Portland, all that felony flats nonsense. He could have been living in freedom, but no. He had to stick his you-know-what into something. He just had to let the volcano explode. Yeah. Blue Mesa Reservoir. Now passing over another bridge. Pretty amazing. I'm off the road, by the way. That's the main road. Okay, and I am now 9 miles from Gunnison. And it's starting to clear up a little bit too. Approaching town, there's this sign for Copper Ranch, National Recreation Area, and there's a road that leads down that way. So Gunnison is a mountain town. A lot of stuff revolves around their university, but it's pretty much mass consciousness here too. But it is a mountain town. Higher elevation, 7,100 feet. Actually, no, specifically 7,301 feet. 7,300 feet here in Gunnison, Colorado. People aren't any more special than anywhere else. You know, you see a lot of common belief systems and problems. But it's where I'm at now, en route to Alamosa, and I'm going to find a quiet place to park. But I'll give you a brief little drive through town, give you a brief little tour. Safeway up here to the right. Sporting goods stores, liquor stores, tire stores. There's a Taco Bell. We just passed a Pizza Hut. Try not to get too excited. Turn this motorhome around. We'll go back to that spot where I was stuck at 25 miles an hour. That won't be very fun. Ah, there's that beautiful sound of the road. It's 5:04. It's 42 degrees. It gets colder here, by the way, at night, especially during the winter. It's not a place the homeless can survive. I see that Gunnison Jiu-Jitsu is still around. Yes, yes, and this would be where we turn here to the left as we approach downtown. You can hear my alternator belt straining like mad. Alright, here we go. Downtown shops and such. I'm going to be going down to the city market, parking for a little bit, grabbing some vegetables to go with my fajitas that I'll be making here in the camper. And that was basically their downtown area. And the university is back that way, where the McDonald's is. We're not going that direction. We're not going that direction at all. They have a Walmart down there too. There's a decent place for burgers. They're just too much. And it's a big college spot hangout, so it's crowded. A bunch of younger people shoving their face. But, you know, not a bad place for a $10 burger, you know. Peanut butter, teriyaki mix, something rather. It looks like there was some snow here earlier, and it looks like it's starting to melt. You can see snow here. So, Gunnison and Alamosa are both very cold places in the wintertime. So Gunnison is behind me by about a half hour. I just turned right on Highway 114 heading south. I was on 50 east. And I'm about 102 miles from Monte Vista. This is going to be one of my most enjoyable drives of my life as I approach the final stretch. I'm actually going to Monte Vista to visit a friend. He moved from Alamosa, so Alamosa is not my first destination. I'm actually looking forward to seeing, look at that. I'm looking forward to seeing Chris and, you know, seeing a new place, not going straight to the, Alamosa's kind of city-ish. It's going to be a couple days before I get to an off-the-grid location. These are real slow roads. This is some serious take your time, don't be in a rush to get anywhere road territory. Some farmland here. One of the most beautiful things about this trip is that a lot of things are coming together for me in my mind as to what I'm going to do when I get to where I'm going, because I know where I'm going and I know what I'm going to do. And I'm going to be preparing to grow quinoa. I'm going to be working slowly but surely on a shelter and or structure and a shed. A number of different things I am going to complete in the year 2015. Highway 50 is one hell of a road in Colorado, not just from Grand Junction to Gunnison, but from Gunnison to Alamosa, just the whole way through. Okay, so I just passed Rio Grande National Forest. Now it's going downhill, so I may have peaked out. We're in the mountain range, and it should get easier from here on out. Noticing I'm going slow. There's no one behind me, which is good. And the snow is not sticking. And there's not large pockets of rain on the road, and I'm not following anyone, so conditions are safe enough. High up we are. I don't know if this is 8,000 feet, 9,000 feet, 10,000 feet. I'll find out later, but yeah, I got up there pretty high this time. And I've been just riding the brake, off and on tapping the brake, for about 5 miles. We are coasting down the mountain. And I'm only doing 30 miles an hour. This trip through the mountains just seems to keep going on and on and on. Now in Monte Vista, 35 miles away. I used to be concerned about police when I was new to this area, and now that I'm more familiar with it, you know, they are so much more mild here in this part of the country than anywhere else I've ever been. Not just the place I'm going, but I got a big day today. I got to go get some supplies, in particular gardening supplies, and find the land that I'm going to be staying on. It's a beautiful sunny day here in the San Luis Valley. This is the little town of Monte Vista, on the way to Alamosa to get supplies. I am back in the high desert, and I'm looking for this plot of land that I have permission to stay on. I'm filling up the area, trying to determine whether I want to stay here or maybe go somewhere else. The real issue is determining what property is the property. No one else is out here. So I would basically have to make a road, make my own way. Over here we have antelope running. I'll be back. This is a reality somebody has to prepare themselves for. And right now, I'm not quite there.